The Air Adventures of Biggles.
Flying back to Pakistan from the oasis at Nanhu, the Halifax flew into an eagle and was sufficiently damaged to force Biggles to make a difficult landing. With Bertie's help, he puts down the plane on a lone patch of green surrounded by rocky hills. After a short rest, the airmen set out to repair the plane. Biggles to mend the pressure pump and Bertie to clean the spattered windscreen. Unfortunately, Bertie doesn't realize that the perspex is cracked. When he applies pressure, it breaks away from its mounting, and he finds himself staring through a gaping hole into the cockpit. Biggles views the damage with dismay.
This puts us right on the spot, Bertie. We can't fly 1,500 miles without a windscreen.
And we've nothing to replace the belly thing.
Ah, dear, what a mess.
And I say, Albie, don't get too belly despondent about it.
I can't help it. Algy and Ginge are stranded with the missionaries at Nanhu, and here are we, stranded 50-odd miles to the south of them. Both parties are stuck in the middle of the Gobi Desert, and our only way of leaving it or making contact with each other is a plane which we can't fly.
Yes, it doesn't sound so blooming choice when you put it that way.
Those are the hard facts, Bertie. Somehow we'll have to sort a solution out of them.
You know, I don't think we'll do it by standing here chin-wagging.
Well, I'm open to suggestions. I can't see what we're going to do.
Eat.
Eh?
My dear old Aunt Esmeralda always used to say that one can think better on a full stomach. Except she doesn't think we lissies can think at all.
Well, I'm not very hungry.
Nevertheless, you're going to digest a spot or two of provender. Waffle back into the shade of the wing and I'll rustle up some jolly old food and drink.
Righto. We may think more clearly when we've eaten, but go lightly on that water.
Why? Plenty aboard, isn't there?
Enough for a day or two, that's all. We may be stuck here for weeks.
Oh, I say, don't be so very cheerful.
It's possible, Bertie. And we'd be crazy to use up our water before we need it.
You know, there may be some water here.
Don't be silly. This is the Gobi Desert.
Yes, nevertheless, Albie, we're standing on a sort of grass, and as far as we lissies know, grass has a profound objection to growing where there's no water.
By jingo, yes. Something's making this patch green.
You rustle up the grub, old sausage. We lissies are going on an H2O hunt.
All right. But don't wander about too long. There's no need for that, Bertie. You'll wake the dead.
Well, there isn't any dead, old trout, but there's water.
You found it?
Absolutely. Harriet was carolling forth to celebrate the event. Trundle a couple of mugs over here and we'll have as much to drink as we want.
Coming.
See? It's a spring. Nice and clear, too. It's at the foot of this pile of stones.
It looks like a cairn.
No, you're carrying the cairns. Hand them over and I'll fill them.
Cairn, you idiot, not can.
Oh, as in terrier. I've been so badly interested in the water that I haven't paid much attention to it. Had a good wash while you were coming over.
There are some carvings on those stones. This must be a shrine of some sort.
You mean somebody's deliberately built the valley thing?
Well, the weather doesn't usually carve figures like that.
I think you're onto something there, old bean. We lissies must consider this for a moment.
It isn't important. I expect somebody built the cairn to make the spring, and because of the value of water in the desert, it came to be regarded as a holy place.
Yes, we'll be thinking of it that way ourselves if we're here for more than a few days. You know, this is a pretty dismal place to be stuck in, what?
It's a wonderful place. It's flat, it's protected by the hills, there's a touch of green to cool off the scenery, and there's water. We are darned lucky to have stumbled onto it.
Yes, but it's so blooming desolate. Despite this bally cairn, I'll bet no one ever comes near it.
We don't want anyone to come while we're here. Apart from the gang at Nanhu, most other people in China would regard us as enemies.
I say, did you hear that?
I heard something, not sure what it was.
Rather a pleasant sound, what?
I don't like any sounds. I want to be left alone. Sounded like a bell.
Oh, we're hearing things. There aren't any bells out in the Valley Desert.
I don't know what else it could be.
Probably a bird. I've heard of birds that can make a noise like a bell.
I don't think it's quite that sound. There. There's no mistaking that.
Yes, it certainly sounded like one, but a bell.
I don't understand it.
I say, you don't think it's a sort of answering call to Harriet? I tooted the old darling just now, remember?
Don't be ridiculous.
That's coming closer.
I know. And I don't like it a bit. Come back to the kite, Bertie. I want to get my gun and be ready for trouble.
Sizzling sausages, that belly thing's getting on my nerves. It's a bit blooming spooky.
It's very odd.
Spooky's the word, Albine. I mean to say it isn't very well natural for a disembodied bell to come waffling over the desert. There he is. The bell? Where?
The man who's ringing it. He's walking over from the hills.
Well, baked potatoes, what a silly thing to do. Fancy wandering about the desert ringing bells. And I say, Albine, he's spotted us. He's heading for the kite.
They couldn't very well miss it.
I know what it is. The blighter's nuts. He thinks he's selling ice cream in Canton. Won't do much of a trade here, by Jove.
No, he's normal enough. We can relax, Bertie.
Old Bean, it may be normal to you for a bloke to ring bells in the Valley Desert, but it strikes us Lissies as distinctly peculiar. I say, the blighter's crackers. He's giving us his bowl.
He's all right. He's a pilgrim.
Eh? But why the bell?
It's to frighten off evil spirits. Quite a common trick in this part of the world.
And is the bowl to frighten off evil airmen?
Oh, that's for money. Here, I have some change in my pocket.
Oh, I say, you're definitely his rich uncle, Old Bean. He loves you dearly. But what's he doing here, I wonder? This is an awful long way from anybody's home.
Oh, these blokes wander about from shrine to shrine. He might have walked for 1,000 miles or more and lived entirely on the few coins he's begged.
Sizzling sausages, what a life. But, some grub would be more use to him out here than threepence. Toss him a biscuit.
Good idea. We've enough food to share with him. Food. You have food with us. Oh, confound it, he hasn't a clue to what I'm saying.
Food? Like food?
Eh?
Baked potatoes, that was almost English.
Talk English little bit?
Well, I'll be blowed.
Where did you learn English?
India? Live India long time ago.
Oh, I say, how frightfully jolly. Fancy meeting you out here. Look here, sit down and hop into the jolly old provender. No tablecloth or serviettes, but there's plenty of grub.
Yes, eat as much as you like. You're a wandering pilgrim, I suppose.
Yes, come here for water. Then go Nanhu.
Nanhu?
Sizzling sausages, this is too much.
No, it's quite logical. Nanhu's a Buddhist shrine. It's probably the next call from here on a regular route for these blokes.
But it's over 50 miles away.
Well, he'll make it in 5 or 6 days, and time wouldn't mean anything to him.
I say, it's a bit blooming extraordinary. He may run into Algy and Ginge. He can give them our love and kisses.
By jingo, Bertie, that's the most sensible suggestion you've made for some time.
Well, if you're taking me seriously, Albine, change it to, regards. It sounds better.
Now we can let Algy know what's happened and tell him to use his own discretion if we don't turn up.
No, I say, I wouldn't use big words like discretion, Albine. This trout wouldn't understand them. I mean to say, my English is only just up to that standard.
I'll scribble a note for him to take. Then we can rest a darn sight easier. We'll only have ourselves to worry about.
Oh, there you are, Ginger. I've been looking for you.
I've been browsing about the oasis. Wanted to get the feel of it at night. Anything wrong?
No, but Ming has just left for Tun Wang. I hope you didn't want to see him.
Oh, not particularly. He's quite clear on what we want, I suppose.
I told him to find out everything he can about the missionaries who are imprisoned there. As soon as he has gathered the information, he is to return.
Ah, that's the idea.
Well, now, do you wish to take advantage of the coolness and clear some more of the strip?
No. I've decided against working tonight. We've all had a pretty hard day, and we'll do better for some sleep. But I'd like to start at dawn in the morning.
I agree. If we get up early, we shall be able to work for about 5 hours before the heat becomes unbearable.
We'll settle for that, then. I'd better tell Miss Taves. She seemed quite definite about working with us. Do you know where she is?
In the guest house with Miss Summers, I think.
I wonder if you'd mind telling her, Honrick. I want to duck across to the caves and see how Algy is before turning in.
Oh, of course. I've made up a bed for you in the end room of the guest house.
I'll be glad to use it. See you in the morning. I'm here, in the next cave. Don't make too much noise, you'll wake Algy.
Oh, you've seen him?
Ah, yes. Yes, he's doing quite well. But Father Dubron wants him to have all the sleep he can.
Is Anne in the cave?
No, Father Dubron mentioned that he'd expected her some time ago, but she hadn't turned up.
Miss Summers said she left for the caves immediately after dinner. She's been worrying because Anne hasn't come back.
Great Scott! She isn't at the guest house, and she isn't in the cave.
Ginger, I'm worried something has happened to Anne.
The oasis of Nanhu is a tiny speck in the vast Gobi Desert. How could Anne Treves possibly disappear? What has happened to her? Be sure you hear the exciting developments in the next chapter of The Air Adventures of Biggles.